Process of Archaeological Research, Part 6. Publication. The final chapter. I know. You're like, I told the story of the past in Part 5. What am I doing here? Okay, you need to publish what you wrote. So, telling the story is great, and telling the story is supremely important, but now you gotta publish your results. Now, it's pretty straightforward, this publication thing. Don't freak out. This isn't like, oh my God, I need an Amazon top 20 book. It's not like that. There are different outlets for archaeological publications. Now, you could write an entire book on your archaeological site, and that would be fine, but it's not common. More commonly, you'll see things like academic journals. Hey, did you fall asleep? Wake up. Academic journals. Are they boring? Yes. Are they data-driven? Yes. What is that a translation for? It's like an Excel spreadsheet, but with words. But what we're doing here is we're publishing our data mainly, so that aspect of it is okay. What are some examples of these journals where archaeologists will publish their data? These journals are usually sort of owned by professional societies. Once you become an archaeologist, you'll join these societies. A very well-known one is the SAA, which is short for the Society for American Archaeology, right? So I'm a member of the SAA, and they publish 4 times a year, they publish a journal called American Antiquity. And in American Antiquity, if you get it once every 3 months or whatever, you'll page through it, and it'll be a bunch of these like reports from archaeological sites. Very dry, very straightforward, just very sort of data. Here's what we found. But it's very important to publish, see, even if it's in some dry journal, because then the circle is complete. What that means is the next person who's going to come and research in your area, they can read what you already did. They won't redo your research question, because you've already answered it, and here's your data. So it's very important to publish. There are other arenas besides like American Antiquity or this kind of thing, this kind of academic journal. There's also gray literature. Gray literature is not the best, but it's better than nothing. And what I mean by that is gray literature is called gray because that's when there's only like 5 copies of your stuff in existence. And what I mean is you write down, you do your interpretation of what happened in the past, and you write it, and it's like a final report, but there's only a copy at the university where you work. You have one yourself, you gave one to the landowner, and you gave one to the government agency. There's like 5 in the universe, and that's it. That's gray literature. It's out there, but it's really hard to find. Now, have I published gray literature before? No. Yes. Sometimes your hands are tied, and you just, depending on the project, you just kind of have to slam it out and move along. So gray literature is something that just happens from time to time. There are also other avenues. There are things called like edited volumes. An edited volume is where a bunch of archaeologists get together, each one writes a chapter to a book. And those are pretty cool. You know, those can be a bit more readable than an academic journal. So the edited volume is something that's out there. Like a bunch of Maya archaeologists will get together and write a book, you know, on one theme of the Maya. They all have very similar research questions. So it doesn't really it doesn't really matter too much where you publish, although there's some that'll matter more for your career, like academic journals, the height for your career. Some that will matter less, gray literature. And some in between, right? We'll do a edited volume that count in terms of points later as a college professor. But for now, you've told your story of the past. You've gone through all the steps. You've figured out a research question. You've implemented it, meaning you've got the money and the cash and the permits. You've then actually done the collection of the data acquisition phase, where you went down to Belize or wherever it was and you did your archaeology project. Then you went back in step 4 in the lab and you organized all your artifacts. And then in step 5, you told the story of the past. Congratulations. And in step 6, you published it. Nice.